Welcome back to Stream It. This is actually our 5th episode of Virtual Stream It. I just
Wow.
up.
Look at us getting it done in quarantine.
Yeah, going by fast. So for today, we have episode 4 of Westworld. Then we're going to pick shows for each other to watch. So 2 of us have seen a show that we're going to recommend to the other, and vice versa. Just to have a little diversity of shows we're talking about. And then we're going to look ahead because we actually have a lot of shows coming out soon, like the Saved by the Bell reboot on Peacock, Space Force, the new Steve Carell show, stuff like that. So we can jump right into Westworld, which was a crazy episode. Got some answers.
Yes, finally. Answers about the did they call them orbs? What they finally said what they were called, and I forget now. The little brains, basically.
Oh.
I think they call them orbs. I'm not sure, but we finally found out that they're all Dolores.
Yeah.
That was such a good twist. I didn't expect it at all. I expected it to be Clementine and Teddy and be like, okay, these people are back.
I guess if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah. But I liked also she brought back, that was like the guy that was hiding in like that warehouse. I forget the name they had for him. But he was the samurai from last season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that when they hit when they hit like one of the barrels with a bullet or the sword, it looked like the white stuff that creates the hosts.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it's like Dolores split herself up so that she could get like a full scale production of like everything she would need to mount her rebellion. Like she had somebody to make the hosts with the an in with the goop or whatever that white stuff is. She's got she's shaking down billionaires, and like it's just crazy how she's like taken over with that.
Mm-hmm. And she's aware that Maeve sorry, I keep cutting you off.
All right.
And she knows that like Maeve is working with Sirach to find her. And I don't know if it was like planned on her end, but I thought it was like interesting that the person that Maeve finds he was like the samurai equivalent of Hector, which was like her love interest. That was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a close person for her. So I feel like that was just kind of like salt on the wound for Maeve, trying to like push her buttons.
And William came back.
Yes.
Oh, he got duped.
Yeah,
by Charlotte, aka Dolores
2.0.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed because since this episode played like 2 or 3 weeks ago, when I logged into HBO to play it, William was the thumbnail. And I was like, that kind of ruined it for me.
Oh, yeah.
But it was cool. Like, so he's still human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he seems to be losing his mind.
Well, I thought it was cool that he has more, like, this was more the business side of, we've seen him so much in the park in past seasons that he was like, you work for me, and like all this like his real life, real world like person who he is. And I just thought it was interesting to see him in that light. And then also how he was dealing with like kind of losing his mind about his like wife and daughter and all that stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting when he said, she said something about the bath. Oh, why don't you use the bathroom when you're shaving? And he was like, I don't go in that room because didn't his wife kill herself in a bathtub?
Yeah. I think so. And he like had the dream of like the water falling and stuff through the ceiling. So yeah, he's definitely a little scarred.
Yeah, I didn't realize that she had him in his house, like where everything happened, and that's why he was being like especially haunted. I think maybe that just went over my head, but now it all makes sense because, like in the end, she kind of tricked him into like the employees from like the mental hospital were waiting out there, and she kind of set up the perfect trap of like, oh, losing his mind, but it was like a carefully crafted setup.
Yeah. So with him gone, that opens up. Was it something with like the shareholders that
They'll
now-
all go to Charlotte.
What's that?
They'll all go to Charlotte, so she can basically do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
So he, in that first episode, the remote, like the robot person in the boardroom must have been William.
Oh, yeah.
And then she had been planning, Dolores Charlotte was planning this just like from the get-go.
Yeah. Crazy. So now Dolores has control of all of Delos. That's intense.
And seems to be getting closer to the technology she needs, because the whole thing with scaring off or taking the money from her boyfriend there. So
Yeah.
it seems like now she's in charge of that too.
Right. Yeah, she's slowly infiltrating all like aspects.
So what I'm interested in is Maeve was killed by the samurai. But she seems to be like, who's going to fight Dolores? So did they take her brain orb thing? At the very end, she was stabbed in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, and she was lying on the floor.
Yeah. I don't know if she'll, I mean.
So, but she can be remade, right? Like, that's how it works in the park. So.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's where Bernard kind of comes in. I wonder what side he takes, because they tried to steal. I just keep thinking his name is Jim from the newsroom, but Dolores's boyfriend there.
Oh, yeah.
They tried to get to him at that weird party before Dolores did.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're working against Dolores.
Yes. I think they don't want. They think she's gonna wipe out like the human race. You know, and she's. They don't necessarily think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think Dolores is slowly, like with Caleb and stuff, she's maybe seeing another side of humanity that maybe will eventually curb her like motives. So it's also interesting that they're kind of working together now, Caleb and Dolores.
Yeah, I actually thought of you in this episode because you're so into like the sci-fi, all that kind of stuff, like being able to access bank accounts and everything because you have someone's blood in your blood. Like, I was like, that's right up his alley. He like,
Yeah,
like the kind of twist and weird little detail that he likes.
Yeah, that was cool. Almost didn't work, but it did.
I loved all the sword fighting scenes with Maeve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's awesome.
Well, in the preview, that was like that was like a scene they showed where Maeve finally sees Dolores and she's dragging a sword.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder if she's going to be brought back online there and she takes a sword and that's just her weapon. Because she was using a sword in the second season a lot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder. Now it seems like where they have to go from here is like play catch up with Dolores running roughshod over everything.
Yeah. I know there's always so many moving pieces in this show, so it's like it can go so many different directions, you know. So it's always keeps us
And do we only know 3 Doloreses at this point? She took out 5 little brain orbs. So it's her, it's Charlotte, and it's what's the third one? I'm blanking on. Oh, the samurai guy. So there's 2 more.
Well,
One is also
The Irish like bodyguard.
yes.
Okay. And she seems to have set his settings to just like ruthlessly kill.
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's 1 we haven't met yet or hasn't been used.
Potentially.
Interesting.
I wonder if it's Dolores. Could be someone else. I could see them doing that.
Oh, so the 5th one is just a mystery person.
Yeah, I don't think we know. Like she just hasn't really addressed that one yet. I also thought it was just cool. So last episode, when we thought Charlotte was Clementine, I guess it actually makes sense because the like innocent kind of naive version that first came out when she turned her on, where she, like that's why we thought she was Clementine, must have been like Park Dolores.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh
like,
right, yeah.
Character is so like simple and just like farm girl.
Right.
Yeah, like season 1 bumping into Teddy Dolores. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like when she is choking the guy in the park, and she's like, "Oh, now I remember who I am." Coming out.
Yeah, good point.
So yeah, I didn't even think of that. Huh.
It's a crazy show.
It is a crazy show. And we're getting more of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 6 seasons, right?
Yeah, that was announced yesterday.
That's awesome.
That's
I kind of like that. I like when a show has like a trajectory. It's sad when it's over, but it's nice to know that there's like a complete story and they're gonna take you like full circle on it.
Yeah.
So because
The 2 shows I think of that are doing that and have done that are just Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. They were like, Breaking Bad, we have a 5-season story. That's it.
Yeah.
And in Better Call Saul, since it's a prequel, they're like, we're giving you 6 seasons.
Yeah.
So,
well, Game of Thrones too. Game of Thrones, when they were like, we've got 3 seasons left or whatever.
True.
And
Yeah.
like, then they ended it, super epic. So I don't know. It's kind of like it's a good cutoff. It's like before it goes stale, they like wrap it up and end on a high note.
Well, it's almost like what me and you have talked about, because I don't think you haven't seen Watchmen yet, right, Sarah?
Oh no, I did.
Oh, you did. So it's kind of like Watchmen with them saying, what was it? They're not sure about season 2. It might come along, and we're just like, well, where could they go? It's not like they said, hey, we have a 3-season arc here. So just like bear with us, basically.
Yeah.
Sure, I can't. You're an S right now.
I got the S as well.
Oh no.
Hey.
Hey, I had to switch laptops.
Oh.
All right, so now we can talk about picking shows for each other. So we've had a long list since the beginning of the year of shows that we've seen, each of us. So we decided that we would, how do I explain this? 2 of us would pick shows for the other and like vice versa. So like me and Tom have seen a show and we're gonna pick one for Cam and then, around the circle. So we narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 for each of us.
So who should go first?
I can go first. You guys picked Narcos and Silicon Valley for me.
Okay.
So I like these 2 choices because they are the complete opposite. Do we want to give her a drama or a very, very funny, lighthearted comedy?
I think we should also say that I think we're gonna watch kind of like the first season of whatever show, and over the next couple of weeks, and we'll talk about what we've seen, and do that on the show. But we'll probably just stick to the first season, and then we can go on after that. So, so Narcos is what, two seasons of one kind of storyline, and then branches off. Is that?
So it's 2 seasons following Pablo Escobar, and then a 3rd season of just straight up Narcos following the Cali cartel, with like the same like DEA agent is the focus in the first 3, and then it splits off and is another show called Narcos Mexico about Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's very ruthless and it's super serious.
But pretty historically accurate, and like
yeah,
really kind of
based
cool
off
that
a
it
book.
actually happened.
Yeah, based off a book, I think written like with like interviews from the DEA agents that took down Pablo Escobar.
That's pretty cool.
Pablo Pascal is in it. He plays like the main DEA agent, and the guy that plays Escobar is incredible.
Yeah.
To the point where you're like, do I like Pablo Escobar? Who's like one of the worst people in human history?
He's a family man. And then Silicon Valley is basically a tech company startup in Silicon Valley, and kind of the trials and tribulations they go through. So, but definitely a little bit more lighthearted and like funny, and I think it's half-hour episodes. And that's an HBO show, whereas Narcos Netflix. Not that matters, but so I don't know. What are you leaning towards? We should say, like, what kind of viewer is Sarah?
Right. So Sarah's kind of a jack of all trades, it seems like.
I think I'd agree.
I think she has a niche with the certain thing. It's like Stranger Things, Star Wars, that kind of sci-fi space alien monster type niche.
Yeah, but then I think she can also get down with a good like drama.
Well, she just told me she's in a week almost finished all of Ozark. So
right, Ozark, Breaking Bad, like that kind of thing. So pretty general viewer then. Like just appreciate good content.
If you just put a well-produced show out there, she will give it a shot.
That's right. All right, so we identified.
So there is a wrinkle in this because, Sarah, I believe you've seen the first season of Silicon Valley.
I have.
Oh.
Now that doesn't change anything because it actually just keeps getting funnier. So like, it's not like you're not completely like new to the show.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I like remember everything from the first season, because I watched it like here and there throughout like a year in college once. But like, yeah, there's 5 more seasons. So obviously I want to watch that eventually. And I know that it's very funny, and I know that I like it. So that's a good thing. But then, like you said, I've been watching Breaking Bad, Ozark. So I'm already in the theme of a drama drug cartel show.
Yeah, I kind of still lean towards Silicon Valley.
I have to say I was leaning that way as well. I think I want more of an opinion from Sarah on that show, and just like, I think you and I, Tom, both really liked all the seasons so far, and like the kind of twists and turns that they go through. So I think it'd be cool to see Sarah's take on a little bit more of it.
Yeah, and just the cast alone, like Zach Woods, this is better than Gabe in The Office and much better than Matt on Avenue 5. This is like peak of his powers, Zach Woods, as Jared. And then TJ Miller, who leaves the show later in like the last 2 seasons, but playing Oleg, what is it? Ehrlich. And then you have Martin Starr and Kumail Nanjiani, who are just perfect.
They crack me up. They're my favorite, I think.
Yeah. So I think, I would lean towards watching Silicon Valley. I don't care if you watch season 1 or 2. Like whatever you feel good about.
Yeah.
I was also leaning toward that show, so I'm glad that you guys agree.
Yeah, I think if you're watching Breaking Bad, Narcos, and Ozark, you'll start having ideas of moving money for drug cartels.
While being in quarantine.
Yeah.
I know
you need to pick me up.
the ins and outs. Yeah, I'll probably rewatch the first season because I don't really remember much from it. I remember like the funny moments, but I think it'll help me to remember the plot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do the first season. Are we gonna do like any, like, should I watch 1 episode per week, or like are we just kind of gonna free for all?
I think we do 1 episode per week for now, or maybe 2 if we decide, but each person can, recap their episodes and give their 2 cents on how their show's going.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Sounds good. I'm excited.
All right.
Who's
next? So let me and Sarah pick for you.
Yeah.
All right. So I think what we have written down, as the person recording this, I can't see the doc, but I think we have Barry, Atlanta, and Ozark.
Yes.
That, again, is...
What a lineup.
Yeah, it's a funny little mix.
Feels like you can't go wrong.
You really can't.
Yeah.
So Ozark, as we know, is a drug cartel drama with Jason Bateman, Laura Linney. Sarah's burning through it right now.
Oh yeah.
It's really, really good. Awesome acting, awesome directing.
Breaking Bad good?
I'm not gonna go that far, but it's like it is. It's really, really good. It's probably better than Narcos. Those two are really close.
Wow. All right. That's side praise.
And I think it's a little different than, well, it's similar. I think the basic like outline of the show is very similar to Breaking Bad, because it's about like someone who shouldn't be involved in the drug cartel because he's like a family man.
Yeah.
That gets involved, and it's from the perspective of someone who he knows what he's doing because he's like getting used to it now, but like really he doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
That's not like a spoiler or anything. That's like the description. Right. So it's just interesting to like, it's a family, and I think it has a little more, not comedy, but it has more moments where it's not just straight up serious the whole time, like I imagine like Narcos is, because they have the characters that are like they have like some like redneck characters that provide a little bit of like comic relief just because they're a little ridiculous. Like one of my favorite characters is like this girl who like kind of just ends up being involved, but she's like
Ruth.
Yes.
Yeah. She that actress won an Emmy for season 2 as Ruth.
She's so good. The acting amazing.
Yeah, she has the mouth of a sailor. She does it in like a deep Missouri Ozark Lake twang. Lives in a trailer. It's so funny.
Wow.
And then Atlanta's funny because Donald Glover. Huh?
I haven't really heard much about Atlanta.
Oh, so Donald Glover created it, wrote it, all that stuff, and he stars in it. And it's about him becoming the manager for his rapper cousin named Paperboy. who has one hit song like that people around Atlanta know. He's like a local Atlanta rapper named Paperboy, and
Oh yeah.
it's funny. It's like really funny, but also so strange. Like it's a weird look into Donald Glover's mind. It's just like, do you know I can't think of his name. Who plays Darius, Sarah? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know his actual name, but
he was in Get Out, Atlanta. He's
Sorry
like,
to Bother You, that movie.
yes, that weird movie. But he plays just the stoner friend who always talks about random like life, and he's so funny. He's hysterical. And then like regular daily life things happen to Donald Glover and Paperboy, like trying to get it done. But then, so you're watching and it's like this whole story of trying to get this guy famous. And then just like that, there's an episode where he's just completely on a public access interview show in Atlanta. And it's so funny. And that's what the whole show has been like. I think, is it 2 seasons?
Yeah.
It's 2 seasons. It's on FX, so it's streaming probably on Hulu. And so it's like this serious thing about following this guy's career. Huh?
Is that a dramedy or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like following this guy's career, and then left turn, you're in like a Michael Jackson impersonator's house for a whole episode, and it's just like so strange.
Yeah.
But
you've seen the second Deadpool, right?
I've seen both. Yeah.
Okay, so the woman who plays Lucky, is that her name in the second one?
Yes.
Lucky. She is also like one of the like semi-lead characters.
Oh, cool.
She plays like his girlfriend.
So the guy's name is Lakeith Stanfield.
Mm.
He was in Knives Out. Have you seen Uncut Gems?
I've seen Knives Out.
Knives Out. He is the lieutenant, the black guy.
Oh yeah. I know
he plays Darius, and he's hysterical.
He steals the show.
He's the best character, yeah. And then I think this is the one though that Sarah and I have been leaning towards is Barry.
Barry, yes,
Yeah.
I've seen the first 2 or 3 episodes of Barry.
Oh, okay.
On your recommendation, but I think there's a lot more to. I'm just kind of scratching the surface here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his like war with himself about being a hitman, but also an actor, just keeps going and going and going. And Henry Winkler just continues to be hysterical and awesome. But there's an episode in the second season, which I guess we wouldn't even really get to with this unless you continued watching, where there's a whole taekwondo karate thing with this father and a little girl. It is so it was like praised as the best episode of any TV show last year.
Wow.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It's half-hour episodes, so if that's the one, then maybe I can stream through them.
So I don't know, Sarah, are you leaning Barry still?
I think Barry. Even just for the fact that like Bill Hader is obviously so funny, like best SNL cast member of like the 2000s, definitely in my opinion. But then to see how good he is at acting in a show that he's also writing and kind of creating for the most part, it's just so you like get so like pulled into his like just everything about him. So I think Barry.
Yeah, I would go Barry. What were you thinking of the Cam?
What was that?
What were you thinking when you saw the list?
Like I said at the beginning, I feel like you really couldn't go wrong because I've heard of. I had like a premise of Barry and Ozark, and that's why. And then I guess I didn't really know about Atlanta, but it sounds like it's also right in my wheelhouse. So, yeah, no, I guess you really couldn't go wrong. I wanted to go back and see more of Barry because I started it and then like I don't know, just got sometimes you just get distracted and something else that you have been watching, like a new season comes out and you jump right on it and then you're like, oh, I never finished Barry. So I was really open to any of them, I guess.
Sweet.
But I'm excited to finish Barry and see where all that goes. Cool.
Perfect. Now Tom. Okay, so we have Love and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Also very different. We really nailed the completely different genres for each other.
Yeah, so have you seen any of them, Miss Maisel?
I think I've seen 2 episodes, maybe a third.
Okay. So you got like right to the part in the show where like right after that, I think the show just becomes amazing. They introduce everything the first like 2-ish episodes, and then it just like takes off.
I remember you guys early on talking about that when we were talking about the show, so that's when I did it. And I even felt bad stopping after like 2 episodes, but I did.
All right, yeah. I don't know. I think so that Marvelous Miss Maisel, you get the premise of it. It's kind of a comedy. Actually really well done though, once you like kind of look and pay attention. Like there's really good cinematography, acting's really good, the like writing is excellent, and it's almost got that like Gilmore Girls like talk fast, or even the Newsroom, they like deliver lines really quick, and it's like kind of it's just exciting to watch almost. Yeah, and they got a really lot of smart like directing choices, I think. So as like from like the film world or whatever, I think that show is really actually pretty good while still being like kind of funny and lighthearted. And then Love is a Netflix show that Sarah and I both love. I think that was Judd Apatow produced, right?
Yep.
So he's kind of got that like little bit of a rom-com feel, but it's funny at times. Like it is funny, right? It's a comedy, I guess, but
oh yeah.
But just a great like the characters in it are great, and I don't know, just a good story. So I don't know. Yeah, what do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, I think, and why I thought you would like Love is because you've seen Master of None and you liked that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that kind of show where it's, it's a comedy, little bit of drama, but it's kind of like not really. It has a plot of like these 2 people meet each other and you're following their relationship, but it's also just like nothing is really happening to the point where like you're getting like stressed out through each episode, so you can just like leisurely watch them and it's funny, like enjoyable. And then I think you nailed Maisel. I think as like a fan of like film, you'd really like that.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I don't know.
It is tough. I guess I'm leaning a little bit more towards Love. I just feel like it's one of our favorites, and I think it'd be cool just to get your input on it. I don't know. Is that which way were you leaning?
I agree, because I haven't. Cam, you're the only like person I've really talked to that's also seen Love. Because I know it's popular, but no one that I know has seen it.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to get another opinion.
Yeah, and I think you kind of fall in love with the show. Like I don't know why. It's just it's appealing. I don't know. So I think you'll get hooked and you'll enjoy it. So I guess I'm leaning that way. I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really quick. It's like 25.
Yeah. Kind of the opposite of what I thought you guys were going to say. I thought you were going to say Miss Maisel.
We love that one too. But
I feel like
these are two of our like favorite shows, Sarah.
yeah.
If you and I were gonna like rewatch shows, this would probably be at the top of our list, like these two.
And I think with Mazal, we wouldn't really have to like convince you to watch that. Like I think that like you've already started it and you know it's good and you want to watch it. But if we're gonna have this time to like, you know, kind of force you to watch a show, I think it should be one that you
All right. Sounds
So interesting. We kind of went a little bit on the comedy line and like a little bit on the lighthearted, maybe because of the quarantine circumstances. Nobody wants to dive into something super heavy, but so Sarah's gonna watch Silicon Valley. I'll do Barry, and Tom's got Love.
sounds good.
I think it'll be nice, a nice balance with Westworld too.
Yeah. Lighthearted.
So, do we want to? So you're gonna rewatch Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I might rewatch the beginning of Barry. I don't know. I'm gonna go see where I left off because it wasn't that long ago. It was when we started this show, so it's only been a few months. But I don't know if we all have 25 to 30-minute episodes. Maybe we should do like 2 at a time.
Yeah. The one thing I'm concerned about with that is I think Barry's like 6 or 8 episodes.
Oh,
So you might, but I mean, it's not a big deal because regardless, you'd end before us. Season 1 is, it's 8 episodes. That's not bad.
so
I think Silicon Valley is like 10. So maybe,
and what's Love?
let me look it up.
It's on Netflix. Well, maybe the last 2 I'll just watch one. If I have 8 and you guys both have 10.
Well, I was going to say, we could go at a clip of 1 at a time. And then when you get to 7, we can watch 7 and 8. And then when you get to 8, we can watch 9 and 10.
Yeah, that works too.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right, that was a good segment.
Yeah, that was fun.
Say that after the show.
I feel like we gotta give a brief overview of like 7 different shows for people.
That's true.
Yeah, if whoever's watching, feel free to like watch along with us, tune in, or pick on some of those other ones on the list and check them out. Obviously, very highly touted by us Stream It people.
We're very protective over all the shows that were just on this list.
Yeah, so watch them, but don't say anything bad about them.
Yeah.
All right, so then speaking of really good shows, there's a lot coming out, which is fantastic for everyone who's at home. So just recently, we found out that on May 4th, which is so soon, they're doing the Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian, which is an 8-episode documentary about the making of The Mandalorian, which will probably be so good for any Star Wars fans out there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, from what I saw online, like there is an official trailer. I haven't watched it, but it shows the little screen grab shows like 5 or 6 people sitting around a table, and it looks like Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard. So it's like the creators and directors, which is really cool. Yeah, and anything I'm just so into behind the scenes stuff like that, because I really like, we sometimes make videos when we're together and can use equipment and have human contact. So to see like it done at a 10 times scale professionally, it's like, oh, that's so cool. Like Cam, we've probably both multiple times watched the behind the scenes of Battle of the Bastards episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah. It's very cool. Or I love how HBO does like behind the episode or like making of the episode, and like at the end you can kind of just get a little bit more info on like what they were going for and how they did it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I think for Star Wars too, I don't know if they'll go in depth about like the writing process, or if it would be more about like the filming of it, but it would be interesting to see how they came up with the story, because that's a series that is so strict with like when you're adding a new story into the saga of Star Wars. You have to follow like all of these rules, and it's like you have to have it run by of like, is it all right if I say that when Han Solo was 17, he did this, and then the whole like group meets and they're like, yeah, that's okay. Like, so I think
I wouldn't do that.
yeah, it's so serious. And if you see that if something said in like Rise of Skywalker doesn't line up with a book that was written in like 2002, fans on Twitter like lose their minds.
Yeah, people get eviscerated.
Yeah, so I think it would just be cool to see how, they went around coming up with a brand new story in a world that already exists. So that'll be cool. That's so soon too. That's like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Month is flying by. And then Saved by the Bell is doing a reboot for Peacock, which officially launches in July. And there's even a teaser trailer out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought it was just like preview photos, and I looked it up yesterday, and it's a full trailer.
Remember how much fun high school used to be?
You believe that was like 30 years ago.
These kids, they can be sheltered.
You're so hot and popular. You're like Justin Bieber if he wasn't like 100 years old.
And clueless.
Bayside is 99% paperless, so getting your books is kind of a pain in the ass. Oh, it took forever.
Time out. What did that blonde fool just say to me?
It may look like I'm a hot, happening guy.
You're a gym teacher, and I saw you eating soup in your car.
When I was in high school, I constantly used to fight with my best friend over a hot girl. I was actually your dad, over your mom. Then I just found another girl that I really liked, and I started hooking up with her instead. Oh, wait, that was your mom.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of screenshots of like AC Slater.
Mm-hmm. So I have the description. They like did a little preview description, and it's when California Governor Zach Morris, so he's the governor, hot water for closing too many low-income high schools. He proposes that they send the affected students to the highest performing schools in the state, including Bayside High. So.
Wow.
Hmm.
And it looks like AC Slater is a gym teacher or something. So
yeah, the girl with, I don't know the character names, so I didn't really watch it, but the girl with like the curly hair.
Jessie.
Yes, I think she's like the principal or something.
Oh, and they were an item.
Right.
Interesting.
Interesting.
And they'll focus on the new students.
Yeah. Very cool.
I wonder if they kept Screech out of this because his post Saved by the Bell life has not been great.
Yeah.
Some trouble with the law.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Screech was fun.
Yeah, that's one I'll check out. I'm not like quite looking forward to that as I am some other things, but
I'll tune in too. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like how they go production value wise with some of the stuff on Peacock.
And also how Saved by the Bell it ends up being,
Yeah. It's funny because it's such a nostalgia thing, but which I think a lot of streaming services are getting into now. But it's nostalgic for people like probably 5 to 10 years older than me. Like I remember seeing it, but I was like little.
I feel like I watched a lot of Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, I definitely watched it, but it wasn't like I'm sure for some people it was like I'm tuning in weekly, like
oh yeah,
like like those teen dramas are for you when you're a teenager.
Yeah, probably. It was definitely a little bit older than us, but
yeah,
because I mentioned it to my mom yesterday, and she like got so excited. I didn't know watched Saved by the Bell. And I was like, oh yeah, like Mario Lopez. I didn't even know his name. I was like, Mario Lopez is a gym teacher. And she was like, oh my God. And then I was like, and the curly haired girl. And she's like, yeah, Jessie. I was like, what? When did you watch this show?
Yeah, I mean, we must have saw reruns, Cam, because I'm looking on IMDb now. It ran from 89 to 92. So
No, I definitely knew they were reruns, but I remember like watching.
Must have been like Saturday morning.
Yeah, exactly.
God, 89. Wow. What
a time to be alive.
I was 1 when it debuted.
So you were watching every week?
Yeah. It debuted 10 days after my first birthday.
Oh my God.
You don't know a world without Saved by the Bell.
Nope. Zach Morris has been my life my whole life.
All right. And then I'm most excited for this one. On May 29th, Space Force comes out on Netflix.
It's May 29th?
Yeah.
That's soon.
I'm so pumped. This has been such like an under the wraps, but you heard about it type thing. And now that it's coming out in a month, I can't wait.
I know, I'm excited.
I put the link on our doc. They have Netflix made like another one of those like long videos of like what's coming in May. At 16 seconds, there's like a 20-second snippet trailer of Space Force.
Nice.
Like a few scenes. So if you're interested, you can watch that.
Good digging right there.
I just went to the IMDb for it, and the cast is kind of awesome.
Who you got?
Steve Carell's in it. Noah Emmerich, who he played the assistant coach in Miracle, and he was a main character in the show The Americans.
Okay.
Redheaded curly hair. But John Malkovich, surprisingly. Ben Schwartz. Who was the other? Oh, Fred Willard, who is
oh yeah.
He plays the virtual captain in WALL-E. Or not the human guy that keeps popping up.
Oh yeah.
The older guy. And then Jin Yang from Silicon Valley's in it.
Wow.
Who you'll meet, Sarah, soon. But I don't know. I can't wait. This looks so good.
And it's made by Greg Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
The Office.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
So that'll be great. Yeah, that was the 3 major shows we had looking forward to.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait, especially for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars doc, them just dropping that bomb on us is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Disney Plus has gotten really into the documentary behind the scenes type of show.
Yeah.
They're like, look at all the cool stuff we do, and this is how we do it.
Exactly. They know that's what people want to know.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make the animals look so lifelike in Pixar movies? Just give me a 10-part documentary on that.
Yeah. Just a taste. Not enough that I could do it myself, but just enough to be amazed by it.
Exactly.
Is that what the Pixar movie is? They have like that documentary?
The Pixar story is the creation of Pixar. It goes from when it's very first started all the way up to through Finding Nemo, I think, or The Incredibles. So it was made around that time.
Oh, okay.
It's really cool, just the behind the scenes of it.
I've been meaning to watch that.
Cool.
So we have all of our shows for next week. We have Westworld.
Yeah.
It'll be...
What was this, episode 5 of Westworld?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So over the halfway point, because there's only 8.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
So we'll have some very eventful episodes of Stream It ahead of us with all of our TV shows.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we're gonna start with just one of every episode?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
All right, so watch along with us if you want, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.